يمسك عذاب من الرحمن فتكون للشيطان وليا. قال أراغب أنت عن آلهتي يا إبراهيم لئن لم تنته لأرجمنك واهجرني مليا. قال سلام عليك سأستغفر لك ربي إنه كان بي حفيا. وأعتزلكم وما تدعون من دون الله وأدعو ربي عسى ألا أكون بدعاء ربي شقيا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
صل على محمد وآل.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب الله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. The topic that we started last week is regarding Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. How many of people who are here were present last week? Any of you? None of you were present last week. You got at the end. Oh, you listened to the YouTube. That's not enough. Okay, I will inshallah go through a little bit of introduction, and then we'll move to the next part of this topic. As I said before, it is important to pay attention to this topic very well. For many reasons. Maybe another reason that I should mention this week is the fact that the belief in Imam Mehdi alayhi salam is the core belief of Shia. It's something that you may, for example, share part of your belief in Allah Ta'ala, in Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in Ma'ad, in all the belief, even the belief in the Khilafah Imam Ali alayhi salam, you still share quite a bit of that with other people. It's so easy to talk about Imam Ali alayhi salam being, for example, the Khalifa after Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because the books of Ahl Sunnah is full of it. However, when it comes to the topic of the Mahdi alayhi salam, the belief of Shia is unique. There's nothing like it in the essence of Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. Of course, the general topic is still there, it's still in Islam, it's still all the Ahl Sunnah, even the Wahhabis, they still believe in Al-Mahdi. They believe that there will be Imam Mehdi alayhi salam will come. So parts of it still might be shared, but it's important to get it from the start, because most of us, we have got it from halfway through or the end bit. You know, we believe in something because we got to the end of it. Somebody comes back to you and say, well, where did you get the idea from? We get a little bit shaky because we haven't thought about it. So we started from this topic, which is called Iman bil-Ghayb. Al-Iman bil-Ghayb is a core belief of Muslim, any Muslim, or perhaps any believer in any religion, really. I mean, even if somebody is believing in these gods, you know, Hinduism or Buddhism, they believe in gods, so the god of this is the god of that. They have not seen those gods. And in Hinduism, for example, you've got gods of different things, and they make a statue for that god. But even that god is not seen yet. So still, you have to believe in Imam, they need to have Imam. And with the religion of Islam, that you've got the essence in Quran says you believe in Allah who is not even visible. لا تدركه الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار. If no eyes can see Allah, the first thing that you want to believe before even believing in Allah. Isn't that really important? Before you believe in Allah, you have to believe that it's possible that have something that you cannot see. You can believe in it, which means Iman bil-Ghayb. If somebody wants to become a believer today, the first thing you have to ask is this: is it possible to believe in something you cannot see? If you cannot prove that, then, you know, if you, for example, we had actually a discussion not long time ago here, as it was, he came and explained about the topic of like what we call Burhan and Nazm, or different topics.
Mind proving Allah.
Proving Allah.
If you believe there is a God, but you do not believe or you cannot prove that that God cannot be seen, then you made this guy mushrik, because he believes in a God that can be seen. It's like another shirk. So you just made him more mushrik, you know? Because before that, you've got to believe, of course you can, I mean, say before, you can believe in both of them at the same time. So, or for example, the angels, when we believe the whole world is full of angels, you know, we believe in angels, and we believe that the number of angels is more than what you can imagine. More than what we can imagine. The number is unbelievable. And these are all angels, the malaika everywhere. They believe, we Muslims believe that they are everywhere, they do everything. They are what Allah Ta'ala says, فَالْمُدَبِّرَاتِ أَمْرًا. They do lots of things. Like lots of things that happen in this world is actually in hands of angels. Not here, even the hereafter. Even the angels we have, there's a lot of Shabbat for Jahannam, and we got the angels for Jannah. For angels everywhere. And you cannot see them. So that's very important. And then we mentioned this sentence, we said they believe in Imam Mehdi alayhi salam, believe in Ghayb, which one of the examples is Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. Somebody you believe in, somebody you cannot see. That is a sunnah of Allah. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has made everything like that. All our belief are like that. Our tawheed is like that because we can't see Allah. Ma'ad is like that, so Allah Ta'ala is giving us promise. You know, we've got wa'ad and wa'id. That you just got to get Jannah or We've got promise that somebody's going to get adhab, all based on something you have not seen. So that's a very important thing. Now we came and said as an introduction to understand these things and take a lesson, we can go and look at Quran. And as Quran says, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصٍ عِبْرَةٍ, the story of all the prophets, everything. Go through. We mentioned that in Quran, Allah Ta'ala has given example of lots of prophets who were in ghaibah. At least for a while they were in ghaibah. They were not accessible by their prophets. Then now, believe non-Muslim. They believe the type of prophet alive. By Uzayr bin alive from alayhi salam. Khidr bin a Muslim, all Sunnis believe that Khidr is alive. Isa alayhi salam is alive. And they're not accessed. And the prophets at their time, they were ghaibah. God Musa alayhi salam for about 8 to 10 years was away from him. We had Yunus alayhi salam that we gave and we talked about. Quite similar. What happens to him? Was in the army of whale, but the Prophet ﷺ for 3 days no accessing Hijrah. 3 days he had to go the other way. They were following him way on purpose. 3 days and came towards. There's nobody accessing. For Yusuf alayhi salam in the prison, here's nobody. Now, here we got an ayah of Quran that explains the reason for why certain things like the time of Qiyamah or the time of the Zuhur al-Mahdi alayhi salam, that is hidden. Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, it says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, inna as-sa'ata, what sa'a is, we'll talk about it. Atiyatun akadu ukhfiha litujza kullu nafsin bima tas'a. Allah Ta'ala says, indeed, the time of this event is Allah Ta'ala, it will come, but Allah wanted this to be hidden so Allah can give people more reward for their effort. Reward for you make an effort in the time that you cannot see things. You cannot see what you believe in. So more reward. And the people who don't want to believe, Allah Ta'ala next ayah says, فَلَا يَصُدَّنَّكَ عَنْهَا مَنْ لَا يُؤْمِنُ بِهَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ فَتَرْضَى. People who don't want to believe in alam al-ghayb, they are the ones that want to follow their desires. Otherwise, they believe. Because if I say, you should believe, as an example, if you should believe there is, for example, a dangerous animal is out there, don't go out. I come and say to everybody here, for another 2 hours, don't go out. There is a dangerous animal out there. There's a lion, for example, was released from Sydney Zoo, and he came out. For 2 hours, don't go out. If you know me and you know that this 2 hours not being here is not going to be anything dangerous for you, it's good for you be staying here, nothing bad happens to you. And you know me and you say, well, look, we know him. He doesn't have anything to gain from this. And he's not, we haven't seen him lying, or we trust him actually. Then you stay. But the one that is after mischief, even though he trusts that person, you know, this person came and said that you trust him and nothing bad is going to happen by staying here, he still goes out there. You know, these kids, you know, you tell them don't touch something, that on purpose they weren't going to touch it. As shaitan goes into their, you know, soul. We should be careful about kids around the corner. The dangerous creatures. You see, the moment I said that, one of them turned up. Okay. Now, what is as-sa'ah? as-sa'a, what's the meaning? The word as-sa'a in Quran, in the specific meaning, not sa'a itself. Sometimes we got sa'at or something, sa'a. But other places we got as-sa'a, this specific thing. Alif lam on it. That's what we're trying to explain, Hajj. So as-sa'a in Quran has been repeated in 35 verses. More than 35 times, in some of them twice. But in 35 verses of Quran. By the way, I don't know what to say here, but you know these books that they've written about the miracles of Quran, and they are everywhere, and you can't find them in online and all that, even information online. For some reason, somebody, I mean, some of those things that they say is true. I've checked them, but I don't know why they lied sometime or they are not paying attention. One of the things they say in those books, they say one of the miracles is that the word sa'a in Quran has been mentioned 24 times as a miracle. It's not. Believe me. Because the word sa'a itself is about 7 times at least. And then as-sa'a is about 37, 36, 37 times. Definitely not 24 times. None of them. I don't know why. And it's not in 24 verses. Neither of those things are true. Anyway, so what is as-sa'a? Now, as-sa'a, despite of what Hajj tried to make it short and sweet and answer the question, as-sa'a has been applied for at least 3 things. Yes, one of them is Yawm al-Qiyamah. The other one is death. Death. And the third one is the time of Dhuhur al-Mahdi alayhi salam. The time Imam Mehdi alayhi salam comes is called as-sa'a as well. In some of the tafsir, for example, in tafsir, the tafsir by Ayatollah Makarim al-Shirazi. Ayatollah Makarim says here in his tafsir that the Yawm al-Sa'a, he says, is the name of Qiyamah. And he says the reason is this, that Sa'a is, which means part of a dedicated time, for something. It says that it's something that it goes very quickly, it passes quickly, so it doesn't last that long. And it says this means Qiyamah because Qiyamah comes very quickly and goes, which we have question here. Number 2, it says the Qiyamah, Allah Ta'ala says that is Sari'ul Hisab, quickly goes through the Hisab and calculation of the deeds and all that. And he brings the evidence for that from Ibn al-Manzur, which is a basically alim of Arabic literature in the book of Lisan al-Arab. He says that here he says as-sa'a is a time for a end of this world. End of this world. When the sayha, the loud noise comes, the earth is going to be destroyed. All the things are going to happen. He brings the evidence from Lisan al-Arab and he says that's what it means. It means the end of the time. But himself is saying, without paying attention to the fact that he just said it means Yawm al-Hisab, he links these two together. And then the Lisan al-Arab says that, brings an ayah in Quran. It says that in kanat illa sayhatan wahida fa idha hum khamidun. It says based on this ayah, it's about a sudden thing, Qiyamah. 2 big questions here. One is that why do you think the end of the world and Yawm al-Hisab are the same? This is a common mistake. It's a common mistake everywhere. People consider the end of this world, like in Christianity they call it Armageddon. Yes, they consider end of this world and Yawmul Hisab the same. They're not the same. Because you've got end of this world, you've got Hashr, at least, we've got few Hashr, but let's say one. Hashr is gathering. Yeah? Come, people they got one Hashr before. Whether Wuhush Hushara. Yeah? And then people die, then it's Ba'ath. People come back to life. In the new planet, in the new world, whatever you want to call it, planet or whatever. The new world. The dead people are under the soil or whatever they are back to life, they're cloned, whatever you want to call it. They're back to life with their DNA as they were before, with certain changes based on their deeds, based on what they've done. Some people they come back and they become blind. لما حشرتني أعمى وقد كنت بصيرا. If somebody comes back, he's blind. Based on the changes in the DNA that happen based on their sins and good deeds. Some people have wings. Some people come back to life and they have wings. Like who? Ja'far al-Tayyar. Like Abu al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. These people have wings. They come back to life, they have wings. Whatever that wing is, may not be the wing that we know as but they have ability to fly. Whatever that is. Now, this is Ba'ath. They come back, another Hashr. They get it together. They go, then Yawmul Hisab. And this bit in between might be thousands and thousands of years in between. Because every day is 50,000 years in Qiyamah. Based on the standard we have. There's a huge gap between the end of this world and Yawmul Hisab. But they consider that to be the same for some reasons. So as-sa'a, as we said, of those three, yes, some places we got evidence that means end of the world. For example, one of the terminologies that we have is called qiyamus sa'a. Yawma taqumus sa'a. Means qiyamah, of course. Or evidences, sometimes evidence is in Quran, after that mentions that this day, this as-sa'a is the one that happens this and that. Or if you got something else, it's called ashrat as-sa'a. Ashrat means the signs or the thing that shows that something is getting close. The signs that something is close. Ashrat as-sa'a then is the time that Qiyamah is getting close. When we say Qiyamah is getting close, it's not necessarily saying close like another 2 hours or 2 days. In some standard, sometimes 2,000 years is close as well. 200 years is close as well. We don't know. Less or more. Now, when it comes to Ashrat al-Sa'a, the end of the time signs, the end of Qiyamah, some of the signs that have been mentioned in the books is similar to the signs that have been mentioned for Imam Mehdi alayhi salam dhuhur. Like in the book of Ahl Sunnah, for example, in the Musnad of Ibn Hanbal, he says that one of the signs of end of time for Qiyamah, he says for Qiyamah is the reappearance of Isa alayhi salam. Or he says that coming of Dajjal, for example. He mentioned these as a sign of Qiyamah, which we know is a sign of Dhuhur. Time of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam coming back. Which means that when we say the Ashrat al-Sa'a, they could actually merge these two. It means the time of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. In Qiyamah, they could be merged in certain aspects. Which means when Imam alayhi salam comes, everybody knows that Qiyamah is not far. Because the time the Imam Mahdi alayhi salam government finishes, when he says it's not far, it might be hundreds of years. You don't know. But that is the move towards it. What are the similarities between Qiyamah, death, and Imam Mahdi alayhi salam dhuhur? What are the similarities that we say these verses some of them can apply to all three, or two of them? Can be two of them, either of them. One is that all of these things come baghtatan or faj'atan. They come suddenly. In Arabic, they come suddenly. Death and the time of Qiyamah and Zuhur al-Mahdi alayhi salam. They all come suddenly. Imam Baqir alayhi salam, when he wants to do tafsir of this ayah, he says, هَلْ يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَّا السَّاعَةَ أَن تَأْتِيَهُمْ بَغْتَةً وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Don't these people look, are they waiting, waiting for the sa'a to come suddenly upon them while they do not, they are heedless, so they're not paying attention, they don't know. Then Imam alayhi salam says, this sa'a here in this ayah is Qiyam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, Qiyam Qa'im alayhi salam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The hadith, the short version of hadith is this: عن زرارة بن أعين قال سألت أبا جعفر عليه السلام عن قول الله عز وجل هل ينظرون إلا الساعة أن تأتيهم بغتة قال هي ساعة الغائم عجل الله تعالى فرج الشريف تأتيهم بغتة. That's what it means. That's Arabic. In some verses, الساعة can be death. أفأمنوا أن تأتيهم غاشية من العذاب أو تأتيهم الساعة بغتة وهم لا يشعرون. These people think that that's it, they're going to be safe, that either azab comes on them or as-sa'a. Now, similar verses to this, we got a few places. I'm not going to read all of them. But the question is this: if I'm saying to you that you don't know when Qiyamah comes because it's going to be suddenly, if I say to everybody that's what's going to happen, you don't know when Qiyamah comes, might be suddenly, you may answer me, if you're Shia, you may say no. But what you say doesn't make sense, because before Qiyamah, Imam Mehdi alayhi salam has to come. If you say suddenly come, because suddenly in a way that you get shocked, you just, oh, we didn't expect it. That was so quick. But isn't that what we believe, that before Qiyamah, Imam Mehdi alayhi salam comes? At least one day before, yeah? At least one day. The Riwayah says even one day left. What? So we can say, look, we know that it's not going to be tomorrow. For sure. Yeah? Because at least Imam Mehdi alayhi salam comes tomorrow, the day after would be. But we got lots of riwayat that actually Imam Mehdi alayhi salam will rule the world for years. And even we have Raj'a for other Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. So, when we say in Quran that be careful, Qiyamah might come